Well, in fact, we could start commercially talking about Hamilton, that's presently on Broadway, that ties into the American Revolution. So there you have it, the art in Paterson, and now a lot of those stories and times are being retold. First they're being written and retold through the arts. Now, in terms of how the arts will kind of help fuel not only Paterson but urban cities around the country, is that strong arts and comprehensive, cohesive arts and education programs, it have a tendency to, and this is documented, there's many places of documentation about the strong arts programs appealing to outsiders of those towns, outsiders of urban cities, of people who may not care so much to come into those towns. But the arts, for centuries, as you know, from Greek right on through Shakespeare and even the current times, those pieces that addresses so many social, historical issues within those communities have attracted many cross sections of people for generations to come. Many generations in the past and many generations to come. Now, how does Paterson tie into all that? Paterson have a phenomenal amount of talent in the performing arts, in the arts and education program, the visual arts, all the genres. Paterson have it. And what I've done over the past 35 years in Paterson, 35 years ago, I started the Now Theater Workshop Incorporated. And of course, that over the years, we've done revivals like everything from A Raisin in the Sun, James Weldon Johnson, God's Trombone, A Soldier's Story by Charles Fuller. A lot of those pieces that were written in the early and mid and late 60s by the famous Negro Ensemble Company. We revived those pieces right here within our community. Now, I don't want to toot my own horn so much, but after engaging a lot of our raw talent within this community into arts, performing arts programs, we find out that it opened up a whole new world for them. So what do we have? We have positive transformation through arts programs. We have economic development through arts program, and we have a cross-section of diversity of people and not adversity, rather than adversity, rather. And I see the arts as helping to fill those voids. And last but not the least, in 2013, I wanted to collectively pull all the artists together collectively within Paterson, because there's so much scattered talent, in fact, and as you know, very well know, resources are very scarce and thin today, especially in urban cities. But I think collectively, once we come together as artists and unite our collective voices, I think our chances and resources are better at sustaining our arts program. And there is where I dreamt and prayed and started the GROC acronym, the Grassroots Arts Commission, City of Paterson. It was adopted under, and the bylaws was we got help with from Assemblyman Benji Wimberly, former Council President Anthony Davis, and putting the bylaws together for the city government. And and then we had the Citizens Campaign, a young man named Charlie Cradable. In fact, Charlie is running for for the mayor of New Brunswick now, where Charlie was the catalyst. And you know how we met Charlie, in fact? Now you got me on the roll. Charlie was introduced to me by Councilman Saya at that time. Charlie was the one who helped to jogged my vision as far as starting the Grassroots Arts Commission. So we started it, put all the bylaws together, put all the documentation together with Charlie's help, and we got it adopted June 13th, 2012, in fact, under the administration of Jeffrey Jones. And then we had Mayor Torres, who came in, who wasn't so favorable to the artist, and we sort of had a period where we slowed down a bit. But thank the Almighty that Mayor Sayar understands the significance of strong arts program and urban city redevelopment going forward. And we look forward to joining forces with him and reinstating GRAC in a mighty strong way, which will include many of our artists who haven't heard of GRAC as of yet. So we have a little work to do, and I'm honored to be the chair of that commission. And I just want to plug, I recently had a meeting with Bob Garassi, because one of the things I want to do is it's very significant that we as the artists now, and in my meetings I would be sharing some of this with the artists, is that we have to think more collectively, more business savvy, more out of the box, out of the box thinking, in incorporating our arts and creativities with local businesses within the community going forward. What do I mean by that? See how we can join forces with those businesses and help promote and work through their business with our artistic values, performance and et cetera, publicity watch for businesses and et cetera, and become partners now. Need that as partners, because if you got strong arts program and you're not able to sustain them, then what are they? I mean, they're not very useful to that particular community. So anyway, I just had a meeting with the executive director, Bob Garassi, down at the NJCDC, New Jersey Community Development Corporation. We're all familiar with Bob and his valuable programs and successful programs throughout this community. Bob has agreed, and I can say it on camera because, on record, because he has committed to hosting several of our upcoming GRAC Arts Commissioners meeting, city of Paterson. So what we do there is help the artists to realize that in order to sustain these works, we got to collaborate with these businesses, the newspapers, your organization, the educational institutions. We must do that. The churches, of course. Oftentimes, children in the churches have nice choirs and different singing groups and instruments, musicians, and etc. But I believe in some of those areas where the programs needs a little tightening and structuring to help get it in mainstream, to put it in a tour component, as a touring component and so forth. I think that's where GRAC, another one of the areas where GRAC is going to be instrumental within this community. I'm excited, man. I'm very excited. And of course, with our Now Theater, my organization, in 2015, we revived August Wilson, the piano lesson. Great success, great. And I brought that up because there were so many people after that production. What's your name again?
Steve.
Steve. So many people said, Mr. Cole, when is that play? When are you going to bring that play back again? It's coming. I'm saying that because the community is hungry for sustainability and continuations of our arts programs. And of course, within our GRAC organization, our performance and productions must be professional. They must shine from the front of the house to on the stage to the back of the house. Why am I saying that? What am I saying? I'm saying that professionalism today with high-tech marketing and social media and news release and all that is a must. Without that, we're pretty much doomed. So in our GRAC workshops, we're going to be talking about professionalism, rehearsals, how to, as Arlene, what's her name? Sharon Stevens just mentioned. We're going to be talking about auditions. How do you prepare a picture of resume? Headshots. All those things are going to be covered within the borders of our GRAC organization, which will then flip into production. And last but not least, Steve, Rosanna, I think, Elder, who's a friend of yours, Talina. I've worked with those young people since they were in college. And now, high school, right here at Rosa Parks, and Jalen, right here. Now they're coming back, or they're back in the community, and they are looking for, to share their wares within the community. So we as the community got to be able to hold them up with our end of the responsibilities so that we have those young people then to share with future generations going forward. So that's where I see the arts.